Ever wondered why we crave something as sweet as sugar? It's a question that's likely crossed your mind as you've reached for that second piece of chocolate cake or an extra spoonful of sugar in your coffee. But as it turns out, there's a very good reason for this craving. Sugar, it seems, is a necessary evil. You see, our bodies need sugar, or more specifically glucose. Glucose is a type of sugar that our bodies use for energy. It's the fuel that powers our brains, our muscles, and pretty much every other cell in our bodies. When we consume foods that contain sugar, our bodies break it down into glucose, which is then distributed throughout our bodies to provide the energy we need to carry out our daily activities. But here's where things start to get a little sticky. While our bodies do need sugar, they don't need a lot of it. In fact, our bodies are perfectly capable of getting all the glucose they need from healthier sources such as fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. So, why do we crave sugar? Well, when we eat sugar, it triggers the release of chemicals in our brains that make us feel happy and satisfied. It's this feel-good effect that often leads us to consume more sugar than our bodies actually need, and that's where the problems start. Overconsumption of sugar can lead to a host of health issues, some of which are quite serious. We're talking about weight gain, tooth decay, and an increased risk of diseases like diabetes and heart disease, to name a few. But we're not here to scare you. Instead, we want to arm you with the knowledge you need to make healthier choices when it comes to sugar. In the upcoming scenes, we'll delve deeper into the science behind sugar, the effects of overconsumption, hidden sugars in the foods we eat, and healthier alternatives to satisfy your sweet tooth. So how much sugar is too much, and when does it turn from a sweet treat into a health hazard? Stay tuned to find out. To understand the effects of sugar, we first need to delve into the science behind it. Sugar, in its most basic form, is a simple carbohydrate. When we consume sugar, our bodies break it down into fructose and glucose. Glucose is the primary source of energy for our cells, and it's absolutely essential for our bodies to function properly. Our bodies are pretty clever when it comes to managing glucose. When we eat something sweet, our blood glucose levels rise. This signals our pancreas to produce insulin, a hormone that helps our cells absorb the glucose and convert it into energy. Now let's imagine that we're at a birthday party and we've just eaten a big slice of cake. Our blood glucose levels skyrocket and our pancreas works overtime to produce enough insulin to handle the sugar rush. Our cells use what they need for energy, and the rest is stored as fat. This is a natural and necessary process. It's the body's way of ensuring that we have a steady supply of energy between meals. However, when we consistently consume more sugar than our bodies can use for energy, we end up with an excess of glucose in our bloodstream. This is where the problems start. Over time, this constant overload of glucose can cause our bodies to become resistant to insulin. Our cells stop responding to the insulin, and as a result, we end up with too much glucose in our blood. This can lead to health issues like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. Additionally, our bodies can only store so much excess glucose as fat. When the fat storage capacity is surpassed, the excess glucose can get deposited in places it shouldn't be, like our liver, leading to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So, it's clear that while sugar can provide us with energy, too much can lead to serious health problems. It's not about eliminating sugar completely, but rather about understanding our bodies and maintaining a healthy balance. So what happens when we consume too much sugar? Well, let's delve into that. The immediate effects of sugar overconsumption are quite obvious. We've all experienced that sugar rush, a sudden burst of energy followed by an inevitable crash. But the long-term effects are much more severe and, unfortunately, far too common. One of the most prevalent health problems associated with excessive sugar intake is obesity. Sugar is high in calories but offers no nutritional value. It's what we often refer to as empty calories. Consuming too many of these empty calories can lead to weight gain, and over time, obesity. And obesity is just the tip of the iceberg. Overconsumption of sugar can also lead to the development of type 2 diabetes. Our bodies are designed to process sugar in moderation, but when we consume too much, our bodies struggle to keep up, and our blood sugar levels can skyrocket. This can strain the pancreas, leading to insulin resistance and ultimately diabetes. In addition to obesity and diabetes, heart disease is another major concern. High sugar intake can increase blood pressure and inflammation, both of which are risk factors for heart disease. It can also lead to an increase in harmful cholesterol levels. And let's not forget about tooth decay. Sugar is the main food source for the harmful bacteria in our mouths. When these bacteria feed on sugar, they produce acids that can erode tooth enamel, leading to cavities and other dental problems. But the effects of sugar overconsumption aren't limited to physical ailments. It can also have a significant impact on our mental health. Studies have shown a link between high sugar diets and mood disorders like depression and anxiety. Moreover, consuming too much sugar can also weaken our immune system, making us more susceptible to illnesses and infections. The effects of sugar overconsumption are far-reaching and can impact our lives in many ways. It's not just about the immediate gratification of a sweet treat. It's about the long-term health consequences that can come from a diet high in sugar. But it's not just the sugar in your morning coffee or dessert that you need to worry about. Sugar, in its many forms, has a sneaky way of finding its way into the most unexpected of places. Think about the last time you picked up a can of tomato soup, a bottle of salad dressing, or even a loaf of bread off the grocery store shelf. You might be surprised to discover that these seemingly benign food items are often loaded with hidden sugars. The term hidden sugars refers to the sugars that are added to foods and drinks during their processing, and they're not always easy to spot. You see, sugar isn't just sugar on an ingredients list. It can be disguised under a multitude of names like high fructose corn syrup, dextrose, maltose, and more. These concealed sweeteners can contribute to an overconsumption of sugar without us even realizing it. We may think we're making healthy choices, but in reality, we could be unknowingly adding to our daily sugar intake. For instance, let's consider a typical breakfast scenario. You might opt for a bowl of cereal, thinking it's a healthier choice than a donut. However, many cereals are packed with hidden sugars, making that healthy bowl not so healthy after all. The same goes for many low-fat or diet foods. While they might be low in calories or fat, they often compensate for the lack of flavor by adding extra sugar. So, how do we navigate this hidden sugar maze? It starts with becoming a savvy label reader. Look beyond the front of the package and delve into the nutritional information. Understand the different names sugar goes by and keep an eye out for them. It can seem daunting, but a little knowledge can go a long way in making healthier choices and reducing our sugar intake. It's clear that sugar is not only present in the obvious places, but also hidden in many of the foods and drinks we consume daily. So, how can we satisfy our sweet tooth without endangering our health? Well, there are numerous ways to do just that. It's all about finding healthier alternatives and practicing moderation. Let's explore a few options. First off, let's talk about honey. Unprocessed honey is a natural sweetener that comes loaded with antioxidants, minerals, and vitamins. It's sweeter than sugar, so you'll need less of it to achieve the same level of sweetness. But remember, honey is still high in fructose, so moderation is key. Next up is stevia. It's a zero-calorie sweetener derived from the leaves of the Stevia rebaudiana plant. Stevia is much sweeter than sugar, so you'll need only a tiny amount. Plus, it doesn't have the same impact on blood sugar levels, making it a good choice for those watching their glycemic index. Another great option is to turn to fruits. Fruits are nature's candy, really. They provide the sweetness you crave along with a wealth of nutrients, fiber, and water. The fiber in fruits slows down the absorption of sugars, preventing those dreaded sugar spikes. But let's not forget about dark chocolate. Yes, you heard it right. Dark chocolate, especially those with 70% or more cocoa, is a healthier alternative. It's less sweet, but it satisfies those chocolate cravings and is packed with antioxidants. Remember, the aim is not to completely eliminate sugar, but to find healthier substitutes and keep a check on consumption levels. It's about understanding that not all sugars are created equal, and that natural, unprocessed alternatives are a better choice. Before we wrap up, let's emphasize the importance of moderation once more. Even these healthier alternatives can become a problem if overconsumed. It's about enjoying your sweets, but not at the expense of your health. Remember, it's all about balance. Enjoy your sweets, but always in moderation. Your body will thank you for it.